So John Wick 4 is actually something I would regard as one of the best action films ever, and also being the best one in the entire series, and I'll explain why. So John Wick follows the life of an assassin who came out of retirement after his dog was killed by a bunch of Russian mobsters. And like any other respectable dog owner, you kill the people that are responsible. And so, what makes John Wick very unique is that the way he uses his weapons, particularly a pistol, is what they call it gun fu in films. Is that he uses it like it's kind of like the way it is. It's not even like a action sequence, but more of a dance performance. It's well choreographed. It's well done that it makes it very satisfying to watch the way he just shoots people and does it with such grace. Ultimately, also what also hooked me with John Wick was just the world of assassins. The way that the filmmakers did the world of John Wick, just explaining all the assassins that John has worked with, all the employers that John has worked with, and just showing this whole world that's pretty much secretive to the rest of normal, everyday people. But without talking too much about the other three John Wicks, I'm gonna just talk about what goes on in John Wick 4. So ultimately, John Wick 4 happens after the events of John Wick 3, in which John Wick, his mission is now he's at war with the High Table, which is like I guess you would say, the assassin organization. It just like keeps everything in check, and also how things are done with when you need an assassin. John uses his wits and training along with some of his friends throughout the films to attack the High Table, in which he makes an enemy of one of the High Table's leading people, who is known as the let me see if I can pronounce it, Marquise Vincent Bissent de Garmont. But yeah, basically the bad guy, or really just Pennywise without the makeup. Apart from him, there are other assassins after John, like Donnie Yen's blind assassin, who's just basically an assassin who's blind, but the way he does his job is just really cool, and it's just really amazing. I love Ip Man, and seeing Donnie Yen again, it just really brings a smile to me. There's also Mr. Nobody, who is this like young assassin who has a German Shepherd, which I like that they keep doing the dog thing in the movies. He goes out to find John Wick for his own agenda, which is just to collect the bounty that John Wick has in order to, make enough for his retirement fund. And throughout the whole film, John Wick is just hopping around parts of the world, killing bad guys, but also trying to fight off the assassins, and also trying to kill Pennywise. Now, ultimately, I really love this film a lot. The way they did the choreograph for the action sequences are really amazing. With every John Wick, they always keep it the same way in the style, but also they top it from each sequel. And this one, they kind of did it to its max, if not maybe just almost to its max. I feel like they could have done more as well, but this is just really great compared to the other sequels. You've seen from the first one all the way up to the fourth one, you can see how much John Wick has done in terms of the type of shit he gets through and the conflicts and such. Honestly, John Wick 4 just feels like John Wick's greatest hits. Like, it's just hitting all the right notes, hitting just the best stuff that you've seen that he's done. There's even like this one homage scene to replaying one of the songs from the first film into this like very nice shot with the bird's eye view of him just shooting up this apartment building with the bad guys inside. It's really nice. Ultimately, the film is just really great, and the way they end things, seeing as this is the last John Wick, and with all good things they do have to end, the way they ended John Wick 4, it felt very nice. I was very satisfied how it was concluded, and how John Wick's story ends here. But ultimately, but seeing as this is the last John Wick movie, I was a little bit sad. But with all good things, they do have to end. But the way they wrapped up this story, the way they ended John Wick's story, was really nice, and I was very satisfied with the outcomes. But also was very surprised that they still want to keep continuing expanding the world of John Wick. They do leave some hints there, and they've already done that already with the Continental which is like this prequel series on Peacock. Personally, it's so. I mean, the action sequences are where it's at, but the story there is like kind of eh. But nonetheless, they are still invested in the world of John Wick, and I'm excited to where they're gonna take it from there. So, John Wick 4 is one of the best films I've seen, like I said before, and I highly recommend watching them. And if you have not seen the other three, what's wrong with you? If you do want to see the other three, they are all on Peacock. The fourth one, if you do want to see John Wick 4, I think it's also on Stars or Showtime. It's not in one of the usual streaming services. It could be on Peacock, like the other three, I don't know, but the last time I checked was on Stars or Showtime. But you know, with the other movies, I have the DVD, so I don't have to worry about that. But highly recommend watching John Wick 4 if you haven't already.